You've spent hours, maybe even a whole day, crafting what feels like the perfect email. You've researched the company, tailored your message, and triple checked for typos. You even wrote a subject line so good that you would open it. You hit send, feeling that rush of hope, already picturing the replies in your inbox. And then, absolute silence. The only sounds are the hum of your computer and the roar of your own self-doubt. It's one of the most maddening feelings in the cold email world. You immediately start to second guess everything. Was the subject line off? Was the email too long, too short? Did it land in spam? You find yourself obsessing over every word, tweaking fonts, wondering if you should add your company logo. Basically anything except what actually matters. But what if I told you all that agonizing, the endless tweaking and testing, is mostly a waste of your time? What if the real reason you're being ignored has almost nothing to do with any of that? I'm Kevin Patrick from Astris Partners, and our team has generated over 8 figures in qualified pipeline for B2B companies by solving exactly this problem. We're proud to maintain a 95% plus inbox deliverability rate, whilst the industry average sits at 60 to 70%, and we've secured meetings with decision makers at 85% of Fortune 500 companies, including Amazon, Google, Pfizer, and Walmart. Every single person you email, from an intern to the CEO, is subconsciously asking one critical question the second they open your message. It's a silent, automatic filter. And if you can't answer it in your very first sentence, you've already lost. They've mentally moved on. Your perfectly crafted email is already in the digital trash bin. In this video, I'm not just going to tell you what that question is, I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to answer it so powerfully that your prospects will feel like they have to respond. Stick with me, and you'll learn how to achieve reply rates of 5% plus, even to 30%, compared to the industry average of just 0.5 to 0.7%. For years, we've all been fed the same advice. We were told the holy grail of email was the subject line. We learned to A/B test them, make them clever, urgent, and packed with personalization. And don't get me wrong, a good subject line is important. It gets the open, but getting an open and getting a reply are two completely different things. An open without a reply is just a delayed rejection, a thanks but no thanks, without the common courtesy of a response. The real point of failure isn't the subject line or just the subject line. It happens in the first 3 seconds after the email is opened. Think about how you handle your own inbox. When you open an email from a stranger, assuming it's landed in your inbox, what's your immediate gut reaction? You're not sitting there patiently waiting to be sold to. No, you're actively hunting for a reason to delete it. Your prospect's inbox is a war zone for their attention. Every email is an intruder trying to steal their most valuable asset, which is their time. To cope, their brain uses a highly advanced subconscious spam filter. This isn't a conscious decision. It's a cognitive survival. The average professional gets barraged with emails all day. They simply can't give each one careful consideration. So we all scan. The eyes dart across the very first line, and in that split second, they make a judgment call. Is this for me? Is this worth another second of my time? Or is this just more noise I need to clear out so I can get back to my real work? You could have written an email that holds the secret to tripling their revenue in the 3rd paragraph. It doesn't matter. They'll never see it. The game is lost before it even starts because you failed to get past the gatekeeper, the first sentence. We've been so focused on the key to the front door, the subject line, that we've completely ignored the security guard standing right inside who demands to know who you are and why you're there. You can have the best pitch in the world, a revolutionary product, an offer that could change their entire business. But if your first sentence is generic, if it's self-centered or irrelevant, as most are, none of that matters. You're just another intruder and you'll be dealt with accordingly. Click, delete, gone. So what's the key? What's the password to get past this guard, you must be asking? What is the one thing you have to prove in that first sentence to earn their attention? Okay, let's pull back the curtain. The single most important question that every prospect is subconsciously asking, the one that decides whether they read on or delete. Are you ready? Is this: why should I care? That's it. Why should I care? It might sound blunt, even a little selfish, but it is the absolute truth of human nature in a professional setting. People, they don't care about you. They don't care about your company, your product, or your sales quota. They care about themselves. They care about their own problems, their own goals, their own pressures, and their own ambitions. Your email is an interruption. Sorry to say, but that is the truth. It arrived uninvited. To justify to justify its existence, it has to immediately signal that it's relevant to them right now. This is the core of the why you, why now principle. Why are you emailing, and why is this landing in my inbox at this exact moment? If your first sentence is something like, "Hi, my name is John, and I'm with a leading provider of innovative solutions," you have failed. The prospect's brain isn't thinking, "Ooh, a leading provider, tell me more." It's thinking, "Who cares? This is about you. This is a sales pitch." Delete. Every moment they spend reading your email is a moment they aren't working on their own to-do list. You're asking for a withdrawal from their attention bank. To get it approved, you have to make an instant deposit of value or relevance. Answering, "Why should I care?" isn't about being slick or manipulative. It's about empathy. It's about proving in an instant that this isn't just another generic email blasted to 1,000, 10,000 people. When you answer this question right, you flip a switch in their brain. You transform from an annoying interruption into a potentially valuable opportunity. You change from a salesperson into a problem solver. Getting this right is the difference between the typical 0.5% to 0.7% reply rates and high-performing campaigns that consistently hit 5% and higher. Is the difference between grinding away with no result and building a pipeline of genuinely interested. So the question is, how do you actually do it? How do you craft that perfect first sentence? I'm going to show you three powerful strategies to do just that. Answering "Why should I care?" is an art, but it's one you can absolutely master. It just takes a shift on your thinking from "what do I want to say" to "what do they want to hear?" Or more importantly, what do they need to hear? Here are three concrete strategies with examples that will make your opening line impossible to ignore. So this is your most powerful tool because it's the hardest to fake and it instantly proves you've done your homework. The goal is to open with a specific, genuine observation about the prospect or their company, but I always say the prospect, that shows you see them as an individual, not just another name on a list. And the reason it works is because in a world of automated outreach, truly personal line cuts through the noise. It immediately answers, "Why should I care?" with "because I took the time to learn about you." It's flattering because it shows you value their work. This isn't about using a mail merge to insert a company name tag. That's just pure lazy. Hyper-personalization means referencing a specific detail a bot could or would not really find. So let's look at a bad versus good example. So a bad example would be something like, "I was looking at your website and I see you're the VP of marketing at Acme Course." It's awful, isn't it? Just me saying it out. It's awful. It's a fact, but a lazy one. It shows you can read a job title, something you could scrape from a list of 1,000. It signals zero real effort and screams template. Here's a good example. Something like, "I just read your LinkedIn article on the future of B2B influencer marketing, and your point about measuring ROI through brand sentiment instead of just clicks was brilliant." It's fantastic. It proves you not only found their content, but you actually read and understood it. You're starting the conversation by validating their expertise, and now they're primed to see you as a peer, not a pest. So this is all assuming that you're linking what you're saying with your offer, etc., but hopefully getting the idea. Here's another example. "Congrats on the recent launch of your Project Phoenix platform. Scaling a product that complex while keeping it stable is a massive engineering accomplishment. This shows you follow the company's journey. You're not just a random outsider. You're someone who gets their industry and appreciates the challenges they face or they may face." It taps into their sense of pride. Let me show you how this actually worked for one of our cybersecurity clients. Instead of sending generic pitches, we helped them open with something along the lines of, "Notice your team just published that white paper on zero trust architecture implementation. The framework you talked about for handling legacy system integration was really insightful and something that I shared internally with my own team. This personalized approach helped us achieve them a 28% reply rate in the financial services sector." And this strategy takes effort, which is why most people don't do it, but which is exactly why it works so well. You're signaling from the very first word that this email is for them and only for them. And nothing beats that. Now, whilst the first strategy is about the person, this one is about their role and its predictable problems. Here, the goal is to connect a likely pain point with a tangible, impressive result you can deliver. Now, the reason why this works is it answers, again, everything comes back to "why should I care?" And it answers it with a straight shot of "what's in it for me?" You immediately frame a conversation around solving a problem They almost certainly have. By using social proof, mentioning how you've helped a similar company, you can lower their perceived risk and build instant credibility. So again, let me break this down. So a bad example that you'll be very familiar with: we are a leading provider of cybersecurity solutions that help businesses protect their data. This is all about you. We are. We help. I. It's generic, vague, and full of buzzwords. They already know what cybersecurity is. What they care about is their specific risk. So here's a couple of good examples. Given the recent spike in ransomware attacks targeting mid-sized financial firms, I thought you'd be interested in how we helped a regional bank reduce security incidents by 65% in the first quarter after implementation. It starts with a relevant industry threat, then immediately gives a specific metric-driven result for a company in their space. You've answered, why should I care? With, because this threat affects you and I have a proven way to address it. And here's another example. As you keep scaling your e-commerce operations, I imagine maintaining fast page load times during traffic spikes is becoming critical. We recently worked with a similar retailer to reduce their checkout abandonment by 34% during Black Friday. This shows you understand their goals and the challenges that come with growth. The specific result adds powerful credibility and is directly relevant to their business model. To use the strategy effectively, you need to know their ideal customer inside and out. You need to know their top challenges, what metrics they're measured on, who their competitors are, and what major trends are affecting their industry. The next strategy is a more advanced move that uses curiosity to its advantage. So instead of making a statement, you ask a thoughtful question that implies you know something about their business and makes them want to hear the answer. Now, the reason why this works is because the human brain is wired to close open loops. A good question engages the recipient and makes them a participant in the conversation. It's not a passive target for a pitch. It's non-confrontational and positions you as a curious expert. It answers, why should I care with? Because this person might have spotted an opportunity or a problem I'm not aware of, and now I have to know what it is. Let's look at the difference between the good and the bad. So here's a bad example. Are you interested in a demo of our software? This is lazy, selfish. The answer is almost always going to be no. It asks for a decision before you've even provided any value. So here's a good example. I noticed on your careers page you're hiring 10 plus remote customer support reps. How are you thinking about maintaining consistent team culture and training standards across all those time zones? The observation shows you did your research. The question points to a real, difficult challenge tied to their actions. It's a high-level, strategic question that makes them think. You're not selling, you're starting a strategic conversation. Another good example. I spent some time going through your checkout flow and may have found one small friction point that could be contributing to your cart abandonment rate. Curious if it's something your team has looked at. If you want to go a step further, you could even tell them what it is, and you could then suggest how you would look to solve it. Now, this is pure uncut curiosity. You're teasing valuable information. You've identified a problem and are offering the solution for free or already giving it to them. What marketing or e-commerce leader could possibly say no to finding out what you saw? Now, the key here is that the question can't be a thinly veiled pitch. It has to be genuinely insightful based on your expertise and your research into their specific situation. Now, most important thing is, weaving everything we talked about all together. So, of course, a killer opening line is, just the beginning. It gets you in the door. But you still have to deliver on the promise, you've just made. The rest of your email needs to keep that momentum going and guide the prospect toward the action you want them to take. After a great opening, the single biggest mistake people make is immediately switching to a long monologue about themselves and their product's features. You've earned their attention. Don't waste it. The rule here is to be relentlessly brief and keep focused on them. Now, to help you with this, make sure that your entire email is under 150 words. Studies show that shorter emails get better results, with a sweet spot often being between 50 and 125 words. It's not because your prospects can't read, it's because they're busy. Simple, clear language is easy to scan on a phone while, for example, waiting for a coffee. And here's something critical that most people get wrong as well, even in 2025. Send only plain text emails. Please don't add your company logo. Don't include your headshot. Don't add your awards. Don't use fancy formatting. And, don't include any call to action buttons, which I can't believe I still see. From a deliverability standpoint, plain text emails, much higher chance of actually landing in the inbox more reliably. And they actually feel more personal and less like marketing emails. So After your killer opener, the next sentence or two should briefly connect their problem to your solution. Don't list features, please. If anything you learn from this video, please don't list features. Talk about outcomes. For example, if you use the insightful question opener about their checkout flow, the body could be something along the lines of, often this is caused by forcing users to create an account before they can see a shipping estimate. We built a tool that allows for guests checkout while still capturing lead data, and it's helped similar e-commerce brands boost conversions by an average of 18%. See what happened? No talk of proprietary asynchronous JavaScript, just a common cause, a clear solution, and a compelling result. And now for the final crucial piece, the call to action, or as everyone knows, the CTA. This is where so many otherwise great emails fall apart. A weak, vague, or high friction CTA will simply crush your reply rate. Your goal is to make the next step as easy and non-committal as possible. You're not trying to close a deal, you're trying to start a conversation. Now, let me give you an example of a bad one. I bet you can probably guess this one. Let me know if you'd be interested in a 30-minute demo call next week to learn more about our services. It's a terrible CTA. It asks for a huge time commitment. It's vague. It's all about you. That's way too much work for them. A better option, better alternative. Would you be open to me sending over a 2-minute video that shows how it works? This is a low friction, high value CTA. It asks for a tiny time commitment they can fulfill whenever they want. It's an easy yes or no question. Another good CTA is something along the lines of, is solving this challenge a priority for you right now? This is an interest-based CTA. It's a simple question that qualifies their need and that opens the door for a real conversation. The perfect email structure is actually very, very simple. You want a hyper-relevant first sentence that answers, why should I care? Followed by 1 or 2 sentences connecting their problem to your proven solution and ending with a single, clear, low-friction question. That's it. And as I said before, keep it short, keep it under 150 words, ideally between 50 to 125 words, and plain text. So there you have it. The secret to never being ignored again isn't some magic subject line or a fancy template. It's a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about realizing that every prospect's inbox is ruled by one silent, powerful question. Why should I care? Stop starting your emails by talking about yourself. Start by proving you understand them. Answer that question in your very first sentence using one of the 3 strategies we covered, either the hyper-personalized observation, the relevant value proposition, or the insightful question. Do that. Keep the rest of your email brutally concise and focused on their outcomes. Send only plain text emails and end with a simple, low friction call to action. You won't just see your reply rates climb from the industry average of the 0.5% of the world, but you'll see 5%, 10%, in some cases even 30% and more. We see it all the time. You'll start having real, meaningful conversations with people who actually want to hear from you. At Astris Partners, we've used these exact strategies to generate 8 figures in qualified pipeline and 7 figures in brand new revenue for our clients using cold email. We've helped companies secure meetings with decision makers at 85% of Fortune 500 companies and thousands of SMBs. And our whole value proposition is that for the cost of 1 SDR, we deliver the output of 3 whilst maintaining a 95% inbox deliverability rate. If you want to see how we could apply these strategies to your specific market, book a complimentary strategy call using the link in the description. What we'll do together is we'll talk about your current approach and we'll see what we can do to help you improve your rates and make outbound the best channel for you. And if we are a good fit, we'll even put together an outbound growth plan specifically for your business. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.